All right, we're rolling. Got a lot of big news this week. So we're going to start off with baseball. We're going to be talking about Dustin Pedroia and his retiring. And then we're going to be talking about the Hall of Fame ballots for this year. A lot of controversy there with Barry Bonds being there, so we'll cover that. Then we got golf. We have a couple controversial questions, and then the recent Travelers Championship that happened this weekend. Then we're going to talk about some basketball stuff. We're going to talk about the Nets and if they're really as good as everyone thinks they are. And then we got a couple football things to cover before the Super Bowl. We got the Stafford trade and where Watson should land. So we're going to start with Dustin Pedroia. Kevin, we're going to start off with you. Dustin Pedroia is a .299 career hitter, three-time World Series champion, four-time Gold Glover, and a one-time MVP.
And Rookie of the Year.
In your eyes, is he a Hall of Famer? Is he a Red Sox Hall of Famer and or a League Hall of Famer?
Okay.
Both.
Red Sox Hall of Famer is a given. I mean, the dude's got grit. Like, come on. He was the face, besides Ortiz, he was the face of the Red Sox for like a good 10 years. Like, the fans knew him and they loved him. I mean, his WAR, his WAR, is better than like 20 current Hall of Famers.
But it's pretty not good. It's still not good. It's like 51.6, right? That's his WAR.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it meets the minimum requirement. It's better than some Hall of Famers.
Well, it's pretty low.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, fair. But 299 career average, MVP, Rookie of the Year, World Series champion, 4 Gold Gloves. Like, he's got enough, and he's lovable. Like, was he ever in the middle of any controversy?
Oh no, he's always been that teddy bear. Like.
Exactly.
So your answer to both is yes.
He's not going to get on the first year or two, but give him a few years. They'll be like, he's a nice guy. Put him in there.
Red Sox.
All right, to you, Riley.
I think that's pretty much a given. Yeah. I mean, he's been a team guy since 2004 when he was a rookie, and ever since then he's been a good player, especially battling all the injuries he has. League Hall of Fame. I think he'll get on the ballot. I don't think he'll ever get enough votes to get in though. I just don't think league-wise he is going to get that respect. I mean, not that he doesn't deserve it. I'm not saying that. I just don't think the committee will give him that validation. Should the Red Sox retire his number? I 100% think so.
Yeah, I think so too. But like on the note that like the Hall of Fame committee's being so strict on like PEDs and everything controversial, like I feel like they're gonna reward the guy with a squeaky clean career who like did everything right.
That's true.
From injuries. But they might just induct him on the note that, hey guys, this is what a Hall of Famer should look like. Just to set an example, like set the tone for future inductees.
Yeah, like more community guy than pure stats guy. More like good PR for the whole league in general.
Holden, thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of am totally with Riley on this one. Like, as much as I'd love, like, if it was the Holden Hall of Fame and not the MLB Hall of Fame, he'd absolutely be in it. But every single member of the League Hall of Fame has 2,000 hits. Dustin Pedroia has 1,800. Like, that's just one of the stats that shows that, like, his longevity compared to a lot of the current Hall of Famers just, like, isn't really there. But, like, I'm totally with you. Like, he's the hardest working player. Like, if you talk to, like, coaches or players, like, who's the first one to the stadium every day? It's Dustin Pedroia. Like, he was that kind of guy. So, like, he's like the hardest worker, squeaky clean career. I totally agree with all that. I just think his longevity and like injuries and stuff kind of holds him back. Like, I just don't think he'll have enough to, like you said, with them being so strict and stuff. Like, I just don't think that he'll have enough. But if it was up to me, it'd be in.
Yeah.
But
I think he's one of the greatest second basemen of all time. Like, I don't know, defensively
too.
He's fine. I'd put him up against anyone at that position.
Yeah, right. Like,
but the last
he's an MVP.
5 years, even 20, like 2017, 2016, he's just been hurt a lot. And honestly, if you're not like a pretty diehard Sox fan, like you're just from anywhere else besides Boston or New England, and you saw that he retired, you'll say to yourself, "Oh, he's just retiring." I thought
right.
Because he
barely
played the last couple of years.
That's true.
In his last full season, I think he batted like 320. Like
like 20
impacts.
No, he's also a three-time champion. Yeah. I can't think that does not go unspoken. Three-time champion. That's not
more than anything as I think it's a team game.
No, yeah, 100%. I think like when in terms of Hall of Fame and like GOAT conversation, baseball is a sport where your personal accolades like totally outweigh team success. But like a three-time champion can't go unspoken.
You think athletes do outweigh team success?
No.
In baseball, personal accolades much outweigh team success. Because look at Mike Trout.
Oh, you mean
he is the possibly the greatest player to ever play in the MLB, and he will never win a championship because the Eagles suck. But that doesn't negate his ability.
No, right, I totally agree.
Whereas, like, if you look at if you look at basketball, like, you have the ability to win a game almost by yourself. Right, so, like, if you're good enough, you're going to do that.
Right.
That's my thought.
No, yeah, I agree.
In 20 ALCS game appearances, he batted 325 with a 422 on base percentage. He was clutch.
Yeah,
that's good numbers.
He was super clutch. Laser show, baby.
Yeah. Dang.
All right. So after that non-controversial one, now we're going to talk about the 2020 inductees to the Hall of Fame. Nobody got in to the MLB Hall of Fame. Talking about this year, the top three were Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and Curt Schilling. So, I mean, I personally don't really think any of them.
None of them
belong. Like, I think those will probably stand as is. You guys can talk about all three of them or whoever on the list you want to if you think anybody belongs. But most importantly, make sure you touch on the Barry Bonds part because that's like a huge controversy whether he should get in or not. So Riley, you can start this one.
I mean, I'm probably the least MLB guy out of the three of us, and I was pretty shocked not seeing Barry Bonds get in due to the fact that pure stat-wise and pure take PEDs out of it, pure stat and legacy-wise, that guy was just a beast. Seeing the home run race with who we had that home run race with that year. That I don't know, what I'm talking about. That was, as a baseball fan, I mean, I wasn't here for that time, but I know baseball fans that were here for that time, and they're saying that's like you turn on the games every day just to watch who will hit more home runs that day, and at the end of the season, who was hit more home runs. That was like the entire storyline of that season. But
was that the year he hit 73?
It was 72 or 73.
72. I don't know.
Yeah, something like
that. He had one year where he hit over 70 home runs.
Yeah, just like that's like video game numbers. And I think that's just that's just one season. He's had multiple seasons of hitting absolute bombs every single season, and you can't not talk about Barry Bonds without talking about steroids and all that juice stuff, which I think totally takes an axe right on his Hall of Fame career. And same with Curt Schilling. Guy was a beast of a pitcher, but the MLB hates PEDs, and which is going to make the voting committee hate PEDs, and because they consider it cheating, which if it is or it isn't, that's not.
Did he? Curt Schilling took PEDs?
I think you're talking about Roger Clemens.
Never. I'm pretty sure Clemens. I don't think Schilling did.
Clemens.
Yeah, I don't think
Clemens did.
Yeah, that's what Clemens. I still think it's gonna hack at any chance you had of getting in the Hall of Fame because you are a career of life. But.
All right.
I'm not a big baseball guy, so I'm not probably the best person to judge that.
No, that's a pretty valid take. You can
that's just looking from a totally outside perspective.
Yeah, like you can say cheaters shouldn't belong in the Hall of Fame, But like, how many guys do you think did PEDs that never got caught there in the Hall of Fame?
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree.
Also,
who those players are.
I think these two stats make it indisputable that both of them should be in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds, 7.
Clemens
Barry Bonds, yeah, Clemens.
and Clemens.
Yep. Barry Bonds, 7 MVPs. Oh my God, why am I blanking on the other guy's name? Roger Clemens, 7 Cy
Roger
Youngs.
Clemens.
Yeah. Roger Clemens, 7 Cy Youngs. Barry Bonds, 7 MVPs. That's absurd. Do you know what the next closest MVP count is? 3. Let's take away 3 of Barry Bonds' MVPs. Just say steroids cost 3 of them. That's still 4. That's still the most of all time.
Yeah, he still is the most.
He was the single greatest offensive player in probably baseball history. Like, sure, discredit him, look at the numbers with skepticism. But even if you look with skepticism, take away half the home runs, take away half the MVPs, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. Like, that whole era was juicing.
Yeah, that whole era was
off
it, but that just makes for exciting baseball, I think.
Yeah, it's part of baseball's history. Like, you can't just discount it and like delete him from the record books.
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they should both be in there.
So listen to these stats. Between 2000 and 2004, his batting averages in those 5 seasons were 306, 328, 370, 341, and 362.
With how many?
And in the season where he hit 324, he also tallied 73 home runs and 137 RBIs.
That must be the single greatest offensive season in the history of baseball. Like, he's got the most home runs in a season. A 380 batting average, is that what you said?
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
He also had one season, listen to this, he had one season where he was intentionally walked 120 times.
That's
OBP.
That's more than some people.
His on-base percentage that season was 609.
Oh my God.
That's more than half the time he's getting. That's ridiculous.
I've never heard of anything like that. 609? That's
609. Yeah. And the other stat that nobody brings up, like, I think his 14-time All-Star and his 7-time MVP is absurdly impressive. But what nobody talks about, he was also an 8-time Gold Glove winner.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, 8 times. Now, all of this being said, like, I 100% agree. I think he is the most dangerous player to ever step foot into an MLB batter's box. There's nobody else in the entire league, any timeline ever, who any pitcher would be as scared to face Barry Bonds. He was walked with the bases loaded multiple times. Teams would rather give him the base and the run than afford to let him take a swing.
Which is just stupid.
All of that being said, I'm not going to denounce his ability to play the game. And I also agree with the claim that steroids don't make you hit a baseball. Like, whether he took steroids or not, he knew how to hit a baseball. He had the mechanics, he had the talent, but he decided to cheat. And since he decided to cheat, and he got caught for it, I don't really see any reason. Like, I don't have anything against him not being in. I don't. That's my take.
Tiger cheated. Should he be in the Golf Hall of Fame?
When did Tiger cheat?
On his wife.
On his wife?
Yeah.
It's different.
The Farmers Open.
Is it though? I don't know. If he could cheat on his wife, he could probably cheat in the game of golf.
No, he didn't cheat. We're gonna get to that though, because we're gonna talk about Patrick Reed today, and Riley has some interesting takes on that.
Does he?
So,
okay.
All right. So are we good with the Tiger Woods? I'm sorry, with the Barry Bonds. Everybody.
So I'd say that's pretty fair, especially.
All right. So. Okay. All right. So since we're just on the topic, we're going to talk about the Travelers Championship. This Travelers Championship, Patrick Reed.
Here's the Farmers Open.
Okay. My bad. Farmers Open at Torrey Pines. One of the most gorgeous courses. Also where Tiger Woods had one of the greatest major wins in golf history in 2008 at the U.S. Open. Now, Patrick Reed won this event by five strokes, I believe. I'm just gonna stop talking and leave this to you, Riley. You can say your piece, and then. So I don't think Kevin. Yeah, I don't think Kevin has heard this, so I'm interested to hear.
No, I was listening to a whole podcast about it.
Well.
So there was a little situation where Patrick Reed goes to hit a shot, and he says, "Oh, I have this embedded ball into the ground. I need a rules official to come over and give me relief, essentially." Now, the same thing happened to him multiple times throughout his career, and he's been known to fluff up his lies for essentially his entire career. And that's why basically the whole world of golf hates this guy, because he's pretty much a known cheater.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, did he win by 5 strokes? Yes. Did this one little fluff up make him did he need this little fluff up to win? I don't think so. I think he's
why'd he do it? Yeah.
Regardless. But as a fan of the game and as a pretty big advocator to golf etiquette and golf rules, this guy just likes to bend the rules a little too much for my liking. And it just pisses me off. So that happened, and I think he chipped on or whatever and made
par. Yeah.
Par, yeah. So then it happens to Rory McIlroy on the 18th of the 3rd round, I believe it was. Now, Patrick Reed tweets out from his account, so on Twitter, someone was bashing Patrick Reed for this instance. Patrick Reed replies to this tweet and says Rory McIlroy did it on 18 and no one's talking about it. The difference between Rory McIlroy's instance and Patrick Reed's instance is Rory McIlroy's ball got physically stepped on by another human being. Now, when that happens, the rules of golf say if outside force causes your ball to have a worse lie, you get relief. And that it's a totally legal.
It's not just an outside thing. It's if the conditions are soft and the ball plugs to the point where you physically can't take a hack at it and get it out. That's a thing. Rory's ball came down and plugged, physically plugged. If you look at the replay, Patrick Reed's ball bounced, which means that plugged is not the vocabulary term to use.
No, his ball was not in a terrible lie. He did not have a complete fried egg. Rory McIlroy had, his ball kind of got embedded, and then someone physically stepped on his ball. So he's like, I can't even see my ball. I need relief for it. And that's totally legal. But Patrick Reed, his ball freaking bounced, and he's still bitching at the ref or the official to give him relief. And he's just, everyone knows that he's a scumbag player. Everyone knows that he likes to bend the rules. Fans heckle him all the time because it's just, he just tries to manipulate the system. And as a guy for golf etiquette, I think that's just totally a scumbag move, personally.
I was listening to
all right, Kev, take it, Kev.
I agree.
Bryson DeChambeau has been known to do it too. That's why I'm not a huge fan of Bryson DeChambeau. And there's been other players and most players have done that exact move sometimes. Some players like to fluff it up a little bit. It happens to most players. But Patrick Reed is just the biggest crybaby there is. There's clips of him on the internet, on the YouTubes. Just someone was filming him and he didn't like how he was being filmed and he threw his hissy fit. So yeah, no one really likes Patrick Reed.
Take it, Kev.
I agree. But I was listening to an hour-long podcast about today. It's a lot deeper than that. Okay, so he hits his drive or his shot. He hits his shot. He's walking up. And before he's even seen the ball, he's a while away. He asks a volunteer official, did it bounce? So he's looking for that relief before he even gets to the ball. He has no idea if it plugged or not, but he's asking, did it bounce? Because he wants the relief from there. And she goes, no, I don't think so. And then he yells to the people he's playing with, she said it didn't bounce. He gets to his ball. He angles his body towards the camera so his body is blocking it so they can't see what he's doing. He leans down, picks up his ball. He's sitting there for 15 seconds, meddling with the hole. And then he comes back up with the ball in his hand. And he calls over a rules official for a ruling on whether or not it plugged.
which you can't do because you can't pick up your ball without a rules
Yes.
official there. The only thing you do that is on the putting green.
Exactly.
You mark your ball.
He's asking a rules official if it plugged when the ball is in his hand. The rules official looks at him like with amazement, like, how can I judge if it's plugged? The ball's in your hand. So the rules official is like looking around for the hole, and he finally goes, "Sure." Like it plugged.
Yeah, he essentially just gave it to him.
Yeah, because like, what are you supposed to do? Like,
so I will say there is an instance from 1999. Tiger Woods hits his ball. It falls right next to this big boulder, and he gets 10, 15 people from the crowd to push over this boulder. Is that cheating?
yeah,
I've seen that clip.
You've seen the clip?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. It's in the
Take away
rules.
your feelings for Tiger Woods, though. Say that was Patrick Reed. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, again, here's the thing. Here's the thing that nobody's brought up yet. You can blame. I agree. Patrick Reed is just what you would call scumbag golf, right? He, in layman's terms, amateur golf and PGA, what you would call a scumbag golfer, bends the rules for his own sake. But the difference between amateur golf and PGA golf is there are people being paid to watch you to make sure you're like adhering to the rules. In the NBA, if a ball goes out of bounds and LeBron is pleading his case, and the ref gives in, that's not really that much on the basketball player or LeBron in this sake. It's on the ref. In this case, if the rules official sees the ball in his hand when he was never given permission by the rules committee to touch it, why is he just giving in to him?
Yeah,
why is he being like, yeah, sure, that should be a stroke or some sort of penalty? You can't pick up your ball without permission to pick it up. So that's not just on him. Same case in Tiger Woods. There is no, and even after they reviewed it, there's nothing in the rules against what he did. So there's nothing that legally can happen. Now we can argue for a long time whether it's a shitty move or not.
I don't think anyone's arguing that.
I don't put
the unwritten rules of golf.
I don't put just the blame on Patrick Reed. I think that's on the rules officials as well.
Oh, it definitely is on the rules officials, no doubt. That's just them being stupid. But also, I still argue the fact that he would have won the tournament regardless, and he deserved to win that tournament.
But that just makes it worse.
He had an amazing weekend of golf. So
that makes it so much worse because he didn't have to do that to win.
Right. Exactly.
So why is he doing that?
Exactly.
He's a compulsive cheater.
Yeah, it tarnishes your win when you pull.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, I think we all agree on that one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, also on the topic of golf, saw a first take segment where the question was, does Tiger Woods need to get to 18 majors to be the GOAT of golf? So I'm going to ask you that question. So Kevin, does Tiger Woods need 18 majors, aka 3 more, to be considered the GOAT of golf?
That's a hard one. If you're talking like, statistically, I don't know, like Nicholas has more. Like, but he's the savior of golf. His dad was right. He saved the game. Like, where would it be without him? It'd be dead. We probably wouldn't be playing. It wouldn't be on TV as much as it is. I would say he's the GOAT. If he retired right now, he's the GOAT. He saved the game of golf. Statistically, he's one of the best golfers of all time. Like, if not the best golfer of all time. He's the GOAT. Yeah, he doesn't need it. I don't know.
Riley?
So I think in my eyes, there are 2, let's call them events that change we'll go golf pun, change the course of golf history.
Oh,
Bad.
leave and come back.
Yeah.
1, Tiger Woods
Jesus.
going on PGA Tour, and 2, the coronavirus pandemic. So Tiger Woods.
The coronavirus what?
1, Tiger Woods. 2, the coronavirus pandemic.
Okay. Yeah.
Tiger Woods.
Okay.
Totally changed the whole stereotype of the white, rich, old golfer, the 60-something in his slacks down in Florida whipping a golf club. I think Tiger Woods took that stereotype, shook it on his head, because you have this African American / Asian man winning these, blowing out the competitors in these major championships. The hardest competitions to win in golf, Tiger Woods is blowing out competitors left and right, day after day. I mean, until his whole scandal thing, he was essentially the saint of golf.
He made the game fun again. He brought swagger to golf.
He made watching the game fun again, playing the game fun again. And I think he's undoubtedly socially, along with his achievements in golf, socially, he's the GOAT of golf. He just made golf enjoyable for the common man again. People in all sorts of races, all sorts of backgrounds, all sorts of ethnicities come together and actually enjoy watching and playing golf again.
He made golf must-watch TV. Has golf ever been must-watch TV since then or before then? I would argue no.
I agree. Now, my second thing I'm going to say real quick is the coronavirus pandemic also saved golf due to the fact that no one could do anything else. I speak for more Holden than you, Kev, but Holden, you can back me up here. You got into golf this summer because why? We were bored in quarantine, had nothing to do. One day I'm like, hey, let's go play a round of golf. You go. These are your exact quotes. I'm probably not going to play the whole thing. I don't even like golf. One round in, you get clubs, and now you're addicted to it just as much as the rest of us. And I think that story resonates for
probably more. I
think that story resonates for people all around the country and even the globe, because there was nothing else to do during this summer and this whole coronavirus pandemic. And I think people getting into playing golf more also got people into watching golf more, following golf more, and betting on golf more. So I think those two events really changed the way people view golf.
Fair.
Yeah.
Holden, does he need 18?
So just to play devil's advocate, there's a couple things that I think need to be brought up. Jack Nicklaus has 18 major wins.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many second places he has in majors as well? 19. Damn. Between those. He placed in the top 3 in majors way more often than Tiger Woods has. And he also, just looking at it, has sustained a career from point A to point B just as long as Tiger, without the massive blip of not a single tournament win. So that is very important. Right? Now, that being said, when I think of GOAT, my GOATs are like Tom Brady, and you can throw in we can get into this in another episode, but LeBron or Jordan, that whole discussion, which we will definitely have to cover. And if you look at them, what did they do for the game? So Michael Jordan and let's just use Michael Jordan and LeBron. They sustained the highest ceiling of play that we had ever seen in the game of basketball. Both of them, here and here. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady, over time, just ridiculous stats, ridiculous, just win, unbelievable. That is the higher ceiling. He broke through the ceiling that was already there above him. Tiger Woods did the exact same thing. He took the ceiling that Jack Nicklaus had sustained for the game of golf, the highest level that could be played in the game, and totally broke through that ceiling, winning, what was it, he won 4 majors in a row.
Yeah, the Tiger Slam.
He won, the Tiger Slam. And he also just, if you look at his score under par in comparison to other players during his prime, it's just he played the game of golf at his best at a level that nobody ever will be able to. Nobody will be able to do that. And for that reason, he also is my GOAT, but I don't think it goes without dispute, because when we talk about GOAT, like we think about MJ, because he had 6 rings and 6 finals appearances. We think of Tom Brady, 6 rings in, 9 appearances, but now going on 10. And those are numbers it's hard to dispute winning.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, I kind of go against my normal thoughts. And I think that because of the level of play in the game that he had, and like you guys said, the influence, he brought the sport to people who you'd never think would play and totally got rid of the stereotype. And he got through a lot of adversity. He was called horrendous racial slurs at a lot of the tournaments when he first started playing. Like,
white man,
he went through a lot of that adversity.
There's a white man,
and overcame it. And I think he will forever be like considered the face of golf. So that I also he's my GOAT for that reason too.
It's also our generation, you know, like we lean towards LeBron because we've seen him play. We grew up watching him play.
We've never
seen
right.
play.
You're witnessing greatness.
Yeah.
With your own eyes.
Yeah. Well.
Sorry, Riley, you were going to say something?
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with Kev. I think that's a super valid point. You get people, our generation is going to say Tom Brady's a GOAT. And I mean, and people 40, 50, 60-year-olds might argue, what about Joe Montana? And
I don't think anyone's arguing at this point.
I think that's such a futile cop-out at this point.
No, I'm not saying he's not. I think Tom Brady's easily.
And he had Jerry Rice.
Generational.
Like, I don't know. I don't even want to hear it.
It's indisputable.
No,
if anyone argues,
I'm just saying. All right, that's a bad example. Take MJ and LeBron. People in the 80s, people who were our age in the 80s, or so 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds now, are going to obviously say MJ's a GOAT. People our age, or younger than us, are probably going to say LeBron's a GOAT because that's what they witnessed growing up and that's what they saw.
I feel like it's not all though. Like, not everybody in our age and younger does think. I know many people who think MJ's better.
Oh well, yeah.
Me not being one of them.
I think LeBron's better. You're gonna get like I'm just saying. I'm just stereotyping into generalization.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I feel like Tom is the only undisputed GOAT of any sport. Which is interesting.
But the thing is, he's not undisputed. So many people at this point argue Aaron Rodgers. So many people argue Aaron Rodgers.
Just because Tom is hated.
With his puny little 1 ring.
Yeah, what? Tom's going to have 7. Unreal. He might.
Kevin, you picked the Chiefs.
I know. I'm just saying. He could. I know. He could also win next year. The dude could have 7, 8. Who knows?
Yeah, all right. Now you sound like
got rings on 2 hands. 2 hands. All right, what's next?
Next we're going to talk about basketball. So we're going to talk about MVP up to this point in the season. So yeah, I guess we'll start with that. What do you guys think about that? Who's if the season were to end today, who would be the MVP in basketball?
That's hard.
KD makes a strong case right now. I mean,
huh?
You go ahead, Riley.
KD makes a strong case right now.
Who?
Kevin Durant.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I don't know. I mean, basketball is just so weird right now. You have so many things. You've COVID playing in that issue now, so people aren't playing as much as they should be, so their numbers aren't as what they would be. You have blockbuster trades coming from left and right. I mean, talking about specifically the Nets trade, I have a hard time saying, but if I had to pick someone on my deathbed, I'd say Kevin Durant. I think if I had to, I think Jalen had an unbelievable season. I think Giannis is still does what he does. LeBron's still having a really good season. AD's having a good season. I think the Lakers are going to be very hard to beat. Steph Curry's having a good season on his comeback year.
Damn it. He took mine. He took my big hot take.
Steph.
Dude, Curry is averaging 28 points a game right now in his comeback year. And that team is not as good. They're without Klay Thompson and KD. And Draymond Green, I'm sorry, is so overrated. He is leading that team right now, and they're good. This is Curry's year to show. Like his legacy is almost like cemented because he has 3 rings and he's the greatest shooter in the history of basketball. But he's showing it right now. I could do all that. Now watch this. That's what
he doesn't need all his weapons to put up.
Oh, he's a freaking lethal.
Okay, but check this. Kevin Durant coming off a year-long hiatus after injury. 31, 8, and 5.
That's what,
31.
Yeah.
He's averaging 30 plus. A lot of people
forget KD didn't play last season.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the thing you have to remember though. Like when you have somebody like Kevin Durant, when you also have shooters like James Harden, who's again one of the best shooters in the league, and Kyrie Irving, again one of the best shooters in the league. When you have 2 other players of that caliber on the floor with you at the same time, the floor becomes this size to this size. Right. Like you're spacing the floor so much for somebody who's already such a good shooter. Who players like LeBron in this situation get a lot more double teams because he only has Anthony Davis on the block as opposed to 2 other players of his caliber on the outside. I don't know. I don't want to negate what Kevin Durant's doing, but like it's the same thing Kevin Durant had in Golden State. When you have shooters like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry spacing the floor for you, it becomes an easier game.
Absolutely.
But he is also the MVP with the Thunder.
But then you can also argue why aren't the Nets?
Yeah, but he never won. He never won with the Thunder. He always choked.
I'm saying from a statistical standpoint.
I am not. Yeah, I don't know. I am not an MVP big legacy guy for Kevin Durant because he just goes to the teams that he's going to make title runs because of the players around him.
I mean, given James Harden was there after KD got there, but
yeah, right. But still, he went with Kyrie Irving, which I guess okay, fine. One player is not that big of a deal, but going to the you want to talk about scumbag golf? Scumbag basketball was going to the Golden State Warriors.
That's just being a snake.
Horrible.
Yeah, but I mean,
he didn't help himself by going to the Nets.
Someone has to be the last one to join a super team. That's what makes it a super team, you know? Like, do you discredit the players who were there first?
Team. They were a 70 and 9 team before he had gotten there. I'm sorry, I don't give him any credit. He to me is not a 2-time champion when you look at like a legacy standpoint.
Were D Wade and Chris Bosh both in the Heat when the ball went there?
If you were to say
what?
If someone were to come to you and say, "Hey, look, there's this team that's probably going to win it this year. With you, they'll definitely win it." You wouldn't say, "Oh, I'm not going to go there." You'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going to win a championship. Let's do it."
Yeah.
So look at a human point of view. You kind of have to respect his decision. But as looking as a fan of the basketball, you're like, "Oh, screw you! Like that's a bitch move." But I think as a person who is playing, the whole reason you play is to win the championship. And I think if you're just given a better opportunity, like look at all these prospects going to Alabama every year. Why do they go to Alabama every year? Because they win the national championship.
They're the best team, yeah.
That's different though. They don't go just for the national championship. They go to play with Nick Saban and to get more attention. Because the better team you're on, the more media attention you get, which means higher draft stock, which means more money, which means better team.
I agree, but what it boils down
that's different. College is totally different,
and you're going to get more attention by winning more games.
Yeah, but you're not going to Alabama. You're not going to Alabama to cement your legacy as one of the greatest players of all time.
Oh, no.
KD went there because he was like, "Oh shit! If I never win a title, I'm going to be like Charles Barkley. I'm going to be cloud for my entire career because I never won a title." So he went there as a cop out to stop that.
That's not a cop out. It's just this is the best team.
Oh, right.
Okay, this is the best.
Who's ever questioning his legacy though? He's not a super old player. Especially when he went to the Warriors, he wasn't like an old fart looking to get. He was not ring chasing like half the people on Tampa Bay are doing right now.
Now he's ring chasing. He is ring chasing. That's why he went there.
Well, yeah, but he didn't need to ring chase. He did it because he wanted to. He's not questioning his life.
He did. He was in a slippery slope. Losing. The thing is, the year before that, he lost a 3-1 lead to the Warriors, and then joined them.
Yeah, that's fair.
When they were already a 70-9 team who had been to the finals, either two or three of the past seasons before that. I think it was two or three. I think two. But yeah, they were already a finals team twice.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, his mindset was probably just, listen, they're gonna pay me. I'm gonna have a blast. I'm probably gonna win a ring. We're gonna be the best team. Why wouldn't I go there? Why wouldn't I want to make this team the best team the league has ever seen and win 2 rings? Like, who wouldn't make that decision? Like, is he just not going to go because the league wouldn't be competitive enough?
No, yeah, exactly.
You're asking a lot of him to not go. I don't know.
All right, we can come back to this at some point. The only other thing I'll say is that Bradley Beal right now is averaging 35 points a game.
Guys,
that is insane.
Yeah, guys.
Damn.
But I saw this is what you want to talk about, somebody who has balls. He in his latest interview said, "I'm not leaving." He pulled a Jordan Belfort. He's like, I want to win. He's like, I want to build a championship team here.
Yeah, but everyone says that, and then 2 years later they're gone.
I respect
Kyrie
that.
said that in Boston.
Yeah, exactly. I plan to be here next season.
Kyrie, yeah, whatever.
Kyrie.
All right, so before we got to wrap this up, but we got 2 more things. Let's talk about the Stafford trade.
I love it.
They got robbed.
Whoever wants to start.
Go ahead, Ray.
I love it.
Who got robbed?
Who got robbed?
The team that sent 2 first-round picks and a 4th-round pick or something like that.
Yeah, the Rams.
And Jared Goff.
You think the Rams got robbed?
Jared Goff is a solid QB, and didn't they send 2 first-round picks?
So here's what they said, though. Here's the Rams' defense. They say,
I don't agree.
First-round picks aren't proven players. I'd rather give it up for an already proven player.
Yes.
That's a big risk as a first.
Yep.
Does it depend where the Rams pick was? Yes, and they're at the end of the draft, or they're at the end of the first round. So you're already the only people that really, really matter are the first 10, 15 picks. After that, you're just praying that it works out for you.
Yeah. Then it's a toss-up. Is it going to be a bust, or is it going to be a Patrick Mahomes?
So do the Rams? I mean, do draft picks matter? I think they absolutely matter to some degree. I honestly think your late draft picks are more useful than your early draft picks to some degree. Do I think the Rams won the trade? No. I think the Lions won that trade due to the fact that the Lions
yet to be seen.
Have Melvin Jones as in a contract year. And I doubt he's going to come back. So you need a receiver. The Lions already have an early first-round pick, and you're getting.
Wait, who? The Lions? It's Marvin Jones.
Yeah, number 11 wide receiver. I think he's number 11. Yeah, because Galladay's 13. So you have Marvin Jones is probably leaving. You have already an early first-rounder, so you're good there, and then you have a solid first round. I mean, most of the time, the late first-round pick is still going to be a decent player. He might not live up to crazy expectations, but he still usually starts on your roster, or at least on your 53-man roster. So you have an early first rounder, you have a now mid to late first rounder, which is still a good pick, and you already have an established quarterback who isn't terrible. You're not getting a bum of a quarterback in Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff's a pretty decent quarterback.
Jared Goff is good.
Granted, he had Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks for a year or 2.
Oh,
but
I don't know, fellas.
He threw for 4,000 yards this year. He threw for 4,000 yards and had a 67% completion percentage.
The Rams,
you want to go before me, Kevin? Because I got a lot to say right now.
The Rams, I think, are the perfect place for Matt Stafford, though. I think that style, Sean McVay's offense is absolutely perfect for what Matt Stafford wants and needs. So I think he'll have a lot of success there.
Kevin, you want it or?
Holden, take it.
Go ahead, Holden.
All right. I hate this term, because it's used against Brady all the time, and I don't think it's true, and I hate calling people this, but I'm just going to call it like I see it. I think Jared Goff is a system quarterback. And being a system quarterback, like he is, and like it'll be proven, he is going to have some serious trouble in Detroit because they don't have a crazy good defense around them. He doesn't have – I mean, he has weapons. Galladay's crazy good. Marvin Jones is pretty good. And
you got Swift.
Their running back.
Deontay Swift.
Yeah, Deontay Swift. So, like, he's going to have an offense. But without Sean McVay, because Sean McVay is basically a baby Belichick, in my opinion, and without a solid defense like the Rams have, Jared Goff's never going to be that guy who's going to propel you to win shootouts by making crazy plays in crunch time, like a Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford, like we will see, Patrick Mahomes. I would say that I get the picks. The picks is tough, but if we're just looking quarterback to quarterback flip and where they're going, the Detroit is going to be worse off with Jared Goff than they were with Matthew Stafford.
Right.
And a already very competitive playoff team in the Rams is going to be a lot better with Matthew Stafford, because Stafford's never been in an offense where he's been able to really show what he can do. Like, he's been in a good offense, but he's never been in a good, like, overall team. In a Sean McVay defense, Sean McVay offense combined, I think they're going to be trouble. Like, I really do. I think they could come out of the NFC, like, very early pick. But to me, they'd be my favorite to come out of the NFC if they keep all their other players.
Right, which who knows what's going to happen this offseason. I mean, I think it also matters where everyone else goes this offseason, because there was at least 18 quarterbacks on the move this season, and there's some juicy stuff that's going to go down in the NFL quarterback.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that this is a chance to see who Matthew Stafford really is, and a chance to see who Jared Goff really is.
Oh yeah,
Jared Goff now
system. How are they going to adapt? Absolutely. That's much
systems that have been groomed to seem to have the same results year after year.
That's must watch football, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree with most of that. I think Matt Stafford is definitely the better quarterback, clearly. And, like, he's going to have a much better system, and he'll probably have a way better year next year than Jared Goff will. But from a clearly statistical standpoint, they had virtually identical years last year, 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff had 3% higher completion percentage. Matt Stafford had, like, a few more touchdowns, but they're kind of taking a leap of faith. Like, Matt Stafford's been great for a while, but is he that much better than Jared Goff to give away 2 first-round picks?
Stafford's not young.
He's not young.
Getting older.
I don't think it's just about – for me, it's not just about the stats, though. To me, it's like who's the quarterback when the defense is having a lackluster game, or you're going up against a top 10 offense? Who's going to be the guy who's going to keep up with those teams? The Rams were never going to keep up with Aaron Rodgers when he was doing well, or a Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, or even in regular season games against any of those guys. Matthew Stafford in that offense is a guy who could do that. As Chris Collinsworth would say, now here's a guy who could do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's also interesting to see where Deshaun Watson ends up going. I heard there's some rumors regarding him and Derek Carr on the Raiders. I think that could be really, really
That'd be very interesting.
That trade could happen.
Wait, who and Derek Carr?
Deshaun Watson. That's a rumor going around right now.
Both of them on the team?
No. Flipping.
You mean a trade?
That could be really interesting. I mean, the draft is going to be super interesting. See where you get quarterbacks there. I think this
to me
could be the craziest I've ever seen.
I hope Trevor Lawrence.
Again, to me, I think that's kind of like the same thing, because that's a total coaching upgrade. Like, that's like going from Matt Patricia to Sean McVay, going from Bill O'Brien to John Gruden. That's a huge system upgrade for one of the most talented quarterbacks I think I've ever
That's
seen.
why it would work. The Raiders would get that, and they dump what's his face? Derek Carr's big contract.
Carr's contract. But I don't know why would the Texans want to do that though? Because they would need to get a lot. You would need Carr, and I'd say like 3 first-round picks, because Carr is not going to be good on them. If Watson wasn't going to do it, I don't think anybody is. The Texans are
Watson
screwed.
has good years. He just can't get.
My God, he was the passing leader.
Yeah, his team's just not good. I think it's going to be a super exciting offseason. I think we're going to see Marcus Mariota, super under the radar guy, could be on the move. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, could be on the move. You got a bunch of quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers is uncertain right now, I think. And then, of course, you have all the other position players. Chris Godwin's a free agent. Lions receivers a free agent. You got a bunch of tight ends that are going to be on the move. I think this offseason is really shaping up to be something like
it's going to be an NBA-like offseason.
I think the Texans could win that trade. Like,
it depends what other.
Listen, hear me out. Say they get 3 first-round picks and Derek Carr. Derek Carr is very good. 67% completion percentage, 4,100 yards, 27 TDs. He's a good quarterback, and he's been good for a while.
Yeah,
he's proven.
He is, but he's not Watson though.
No, I agree. But yes, but what do the Texans need? If they couldn't win with Watson, they got a very good quarterback in return if they trade Watson.
And they'll have a new coach this season.
Yes, and they're getting more weapons. Say they get 3 first-round picks, shore up the line, get a couple good wide receivers. That could be what they need.
Yeah,
if Deshaun Watson
give Will Fuller some help on the outside. I mean, honestly, I kind of agree.
That's true.
Think they could be dangerous if they get the right pieces in place.
Exactly. Derek Carr could do it.
Management is going to have a massive time doing.
Yeah, he could. If Derek Carr has the pieces, he could do it.
But that's also you have I think 8 new coaches around the league. You have the Chargers have a brand new coach with that stud of a kid and my boy Justin Herbert. And that offense is about to be really, really good. You have a brand new coach there. You have a brand new coach, I want to say, on the Eagles. You have a brand new coach on the Texans. You have a brand new coach at the Jags and the Jets. You have a lot of new.
What are the Eagles gonna do? That's another one.
Oh, another day.
Jalen Hurts is the answer.
Another day.
Where's Carson Wentz gonna go?
I think Hurts is the answer.
These are all questions that need to be addressed in the next couple months, and if you keep watching this podcast, we will be addressing them.
Exactly.